Morning, good afternoon. My name is Asi. I will be showcasing my journey, my Sprint One journey through case studies. First, I'd like to thank my team for their efforts and help throughout this journey. So, firstly, an overview of what we did for Sprint One. So, it just exposes us to concepts such as element conversions, UI UX, user journey, as well as A/B testing. Speaking of UI UX, we are tasked to audit a brewery shop. So, firstly, let's talk about its UI, its strengths and weaknesses. So for this web page in particular, it has a clean and simple layout, making navigations easy to, and it has a hero section and CTA buttons, which quickly guides its users. So navigation is very important and crucial throughout any web pages or any e-commerce, as it helps guide the users towards their journey, as well as reduces bounce back rate. And with high fidelity photos, it improves trustworthiness and legitimacy to the website itself. And because of how it's laid out, as most retail stores are, the familiarity makes it an easy browsing experience. However, there is some weaknesses to this web page. Because there's a lack of customer reviews and social proof, it can reduce trustworthiness a little bit. CTA buttons feels a bit too generic and do not stand out. Product descriptions are too brief and does not paint in pictures, so there's no storytelling for the product itself. So it doesn't evoke any feeling when a user wants to purchase a coffee from them. So they can have a notion of what they're gonna be tasting. And because it has visual hierarchy, it makes sections compete for attention, and things such as a simple reassurance or secure payment, refund, and shipping information is missing. And there's also a limited variety of products, as well as the pricing structures feels too similar and rigid towards each other. So when we talk about UI, we also talk about the user's experience. So how can we improve the user's experience? Firstly, by having faster loading speeds, it kind of improves retention, reduces bounce back rate, and creates a seamless browsing experience. As for an easy checkout flow, by having fewer steps, it creates faster decisions for the customers, which means lesser hesitations during purchase or cart abandonment. So we decided to go with a one-click checkout that reduces the friction, such as Apple Payment. So for mobile responsiveness, you can have a web page purely built for desktops. However, with more users using the smartphone, such as an iPhone here, there is a by having poor mobile performance, it damages the user's experience as they mostly browse through the mobile pages nowadays. As for navigation logic, one thing they did well but could improve further is to have a more structured navigation layout within the homepage itself. Because with a more clear layout, it helps improve and complete actions more efficiently, and it's more usable to the certain users. So firstly, when we talk about users, we also need to know what is the text and what's the friction when looking at the web page. So for text, we don't mean monetary text. What we mean is what is the user willing to pay in terms of time, effort, and risk, as well as what makes a user stop, which is the friction. So firstly, for time, they are comparing multiple coffee brands and products. For efforts, they are because of their comparisons, they are looking at further researching through internal and external reviews, such as social media and as well as Google reviews. And because even though it's a low financial risk because coffee is unexpensive per se, but because we do not know how it tastes like and do not know the quality of the coffee without going to the shop itself, a user might want to look at the web page, meaning they want to look at the product description, but they don't even have a hint of what the aroma is supposed to smell like. So therefore, now we talk about what makes a user stop. So what we came up with is that because there's a lack of customer reviews and the product page descriptions are kind of weak with limited images, it kind of reduces trust and creates higher hesitation for the customers, meaning that they have an increased chance of switching to competitors. So how to reduce this friction and tax? Firstly, we can add a customer review panel, whether it's internally in the web page or externally as in a Google review itself or a social media platform. We can also have improved product descriptions and visuals and provide a clearer product understanding to increase trust. So now we'll also talk about the A/B testing, which is the final stage of it. So A/B testing is having one variable be controlled and one variable be changed within the web page itself to see what gives us more conversion rates. So in our case, we have identified the biggest problem is there's a high volume purchase drop-off and weak conversion performance. So a control text that we have is the send CTA text, which is add to cart. And what we wanted to change is something more emotional based, such as grab your fresh roast, because our hypothesis is that through emotional driven marketing and language, it increases click rates. So finally, we go to the final sprint, which is sprint 1B, where we help a client who is an energy drink company. So the last question that I would like to kind of showcase is the CEO Master Challenge, where they want to find 10,000 people who behave like customer 8803 and 8808 within their CRM database. So how do we actually go about finding the same lookalike audience? Is through looking at the job sectors as well as kind of the persona of those people who have bought the products, whether it's through monthly subscriptions or a bulk purchase. So usually what we have figured out from the CRM is that job sectors or users who do time-consuming activities such as gaming or studying, they are more than likely to buy this product. So by taking what they know and gamifying the loyalty program, which kind of personalizes the advertising, it creates more customers who are exactly like the customer base that CEO is looking for. So why this is important instead of doing guesswork is because if you actually observe their day-to-day daily activities, you kind of create a more personal branding towards the client that you want to market